Dahlia Lithwick, welcome to the Daily Social Distancing Show.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk about the notorious RBG. Many people were fans of RBG. Few people on this earth can say that RBG was a fan of theirs, but that was your relationship with her. Can you tell me a little bit more about how that came to be?
There's no way I can answer that question. It's crazy. But I will say, before I met her, she had told Jess Braven at the Wall Street Journal, asked who she read, and she said she read me. And then she went on to say she liked my writing because it was spicy, which I think is Ginsburg speak for like a little bit sassy and irreverent. But I think that she appreciated that I didn't take the court terribly, terribly seriously. And it was ironic coming from somebody who actually took the court terribly, terribly seriously herself.
Right. First things first, let's get it out the way. Do the Democrats have any fighting hope in stopping the Republicans from appointing a Supreme Court justice to that seat?
I think first things first, no. I think that Senate Democrats now have a choice about tactics of how to message this and how to use this to get out the vote in the election, maybe, flip the Senate and get the president out of office, and just make the point that all of the sort of internecine fighting about politics notwithstanding, the court is going to be the thing now that preserves minority rule in America. And if you care about that, do something about it in the election. It's not a very optimistic answer, but I think it's truly the only answer I have.
As someone who has for many years struggled to understand how openly partisan the court system is in America, is America's Supreme Court system broken?
I think that the framers certainly never anticipated that all reproductive rights in the country would turn on the death of an 87-year-old woman, right? I mean, something is broken. And you can parse it several ways. I certainly think that we could say the court is broken because the norms, the Senate norms around confirmation are broken, and that there was, we're talking about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She was confirmed 96-3.
Right.
And she sat there and openly talked about her views of abortion and privacy, by the way. It wasn't like she was hiding the ball. So sometime between that vote and Justice Scalia's vote, something happened that got us to the era of 50-50 voting. And I think what happened then became sort of the norm of, we're not gonna seat your justice, Barack Obama, because we're gonna say it's because it's a presidential year, but in 4 years we're gonna say something different. So that norm broke, and I think the sort of heavy politicization of the court as America's football is, whether that means the court is broken or America's broken, I guess is either or. But we need the court, right? We got DACA this year. Title VII now ensures this year that you cannot be fired for being gay or transgender in the workplace. This is a big freaking deal. The court could save the Affordable Care Act. We need the court. And so the fact that the court is simultaneously broken and that it's also sort of the last backstop, that's the really terrifying part. We need it to function.
Before I let you go, I wanted to pitch a solution to you. What if they reformed the way you choose the justices in America, in that Republicans and Democrats both pick their top 5, they put them into balls, like the lottery, and then you have to approve who gets put in, and then everyone puts them in a giant tumbler, and you don't know which ball it's going to be. And that way whichever one gets pulled out has to be the Supreme Court pick. That's it. That's basically what it is. That way, I was thinking maybe each side would be more likely to pick a justice that they think is a reasonable person, because it could be the other side's ball that pops up. Do you think that would work?
I think, believe it or not, there is a serious proposal that's been put forward by some professors that's kind of a version of that would have, an equal number of justices from each side, and then have them choose mutual. So it's a version of what you're describing. And I think there are sort of, in the structural reforms category, if that's what we're calling it, there are reforms that look like that. And maybe, you know, like you don't have the Vanna White with the ball, but like I do think that at least you have the notion that everybody has a vested interest in picking good
Right.
people. And so, you know, like Joe Biden says, everything's on the table, and I think they should put the ball in the basket solution on the table too. There's nothing wrong with it, and it's probably better than a lot of the ideas that are being floated. So 2 thumbs up from this judge.
Well, that's all I can get from you. Thank you so much again for taking the time. Thank you again for your amazing writing. I would recommend everybody read it, because if they want to know more about RBG and why she was so fantastic, I think there are a few writers people can read that can truly bring her to life the way you have. So thank you so much for joining us on the show again, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you, Trevor.